Hey guys, this is Slaver Maniac, and I'm introducing to you guys today my, there we go, Big 5 United deck profile, coming up. Now, what can I say and reveal about this deck? Is to make it very short and clear. It is, of course, the combined. Contains the combined forces of the big monster, spell, and trap cards of the Big 5. Now, you guys might wonder why I have, for the first time of all of my deck profiles, a fusion monster included. Since it's very special, this special fusion monster makes up the deck master of all 5 combined during the duel of the Big 5, namely the 5-headed dragon. During the battle, a matchup against Joey Wheeler and Yugi Muto, it was working that way that each one of the Big 5 was engaging themselves in battle while playing and fighting and dueling. They were using their own deck master. So we have all 5, of course, the Judge, from Johnson, the Robotic Knight from Nesbitt, the Deep Sea Warrior from Gansley, Jinzo from Lecter, and of course the Nightmare Penguin of Crump. And last but not least, it all fused together since they have 5 different types, namely water, fire, earth, darkness, and water, fire. No, they have 5, but there are 5 how can I say it? 5 different not different types, but there are 5 different monsters, and which I think contains everything besides light and wind. But the only monster type that can defeat this 5-headed dragon is a light type monster, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, the light type monster. So I will not say much about it, since all of you guys know this character. At the commence of this duel, it was working like that. Tristan Taylor had lost his body in a duel against Nesbitt. As you might remember, Nesbitt was dueling against Tristan, Duke, and Serenity at the same time, but the other 2 ones at the end defeated him. But Tristan lost. His life points were very fastly down to 0, as he wanted to protect Serenity Wheeler, as a matter of fact. And immediately after he lost against the remaining Duke and Serenity, he fled alongside with the body of Tristan. And the other members of the Big 5 had this stance that he had to either give back the body or share it with the other ones, as he of course defeated Tristan, but last but not least lost the fight and the matchup against the other other 2 guys. So as a result of that, he lost, and they had made a compromise which said that they will share this body in a matchup against Yugi and Joey. At first they wanted just do it against Yugi, as Noah Kaiba, the son of Gozaburo Kaiba, was commanding them to do that so that he can prove that that they are worth it, keeping this body and getting his body then too. Yeah, and then Joey protested that it might not be fair since there were 5 men in one body, so he is joining, so it would be a little bit more appropriate and outbalanced in comparison to the first suggestion. And it was, I think, Johnson who said Joey Wheeler would only or adopted that Joey Wheeler would only slow down Yugi Muto, and I think it was Lecter who said that this Joey Wheeler beat him off in their matchup. Yeah, but last but not least, they dueled themselves, and then they lost in a very epic, after my view at least, battle. I will be letting those cards, of course, here, and then we will come to their other monsters which were shown. First of them was the Berserk Dragon, which I think, as the 5-headed dragon was destroyed, Berserk Dragon was coming as a result of that instead on the field. I don't know which combination it exactly was, but they didn't had this Berserk Dragon as a deck master, so you might say now they are showing their complete deck master profile, or it's shown by me. But Berserk Dragon has the ability to attack all monsters from the opponent's monsters on the field, but loses 500 attack stats every time. Since it has 3,500, you might say, oh yeah, but 500 each round is not that much. But yeah, I think he was battling against Mirage Knight. Mirage Knight had it to 8, I think. Or was it the Dark Magician Knight? I'm not sure. Yeah, one of those two. Yeah, then I think Mystical Elf was played by one of the competitors. I think it was Johnson who played this out. Where is Johnson? Oh, he was there. Yeah, Johnson played it out, I think. Something like that. Further on, the Hysteric Fairy also was from Johnson. This wasn't played out, I think, but I set up this deck after this method that I did include at least 2 additional monster cards from each of the protagonists of the Big 5, combined with, of course, the deck master. So what in combination make 2, 3, and the combination made then this deck. Of course, from the cards that were played out by them. Catapult Turtle was played out. I think either it was Crump. Yeah, it was Crump. I think it was Crump. And the Legendary Fisher I put in there, which was played out in the round of the Deep Sea Warrior. What means Gansley played it out. Wall of Illusion I put in there, which wasn't played out, but Gansley possessed this one in the matchup against Yugi in the first one. The Cyberjar played out by Lecter, as well as the Fire Princess and the Injection Fairy Lily. So I have 3 monster cards plus the deck master. That I put in there also because it was needed in order to summon the 5-headed dragon. You have to have, and that was what I wanted to say from the beginning, a monster from each type in your deck, except for light. And so I had also I think even you have to have a dragon from every dragon type, from every dragon attribute a type, which means you have to have a dragon wind type, a dragon fire, water, darkness, and earth, except for light, as I said, in order to special summon the 5-headed dragon. Yeah, you have to have 5 dragon type monsters, and I thought it would be appropriate to have each type in there, so I put, of course, in there the armed dragon, the armed dragon, yeah, armed dragon, no level, but yeah, some of that type. Then I put in also in there the dragon of Korkimaru. So 2 dragons, 1 luster dragon. We have 3 dragons. Dragon while dwelling in the cave. We have 4. A meteor dragon makes 5. But I also put in there masked dragon and heavenly dragon Apocalypse, which makes, I think, now 7 dragons, so it makes it more probable to special summon this one, of course, the 5-headed one, dragon one. Then I think it was Gensley or Crump, which had this Magician of Faith face down, but I'm not sure which one. I think it was Gensley, but I'm not sure. In order to bring back the legendary ocean. And now this was all his monster cards. Now we'll be going up onto his spell cards, as I was referring to the legendary ocean and the turn which Gensley was playing out. Of course, in order to downgrade all of the water type monsters in both players' hands and as well as on the field, and was destroyed. I'm not sure with which card, maybe Mystical Space or Harvey's Feather Dust or something like that, and he brought it then back on the purpose and playing it out with the effect of the flipped Magician of Fate. Also I put in there Dragon's Roar, which you might say is like a support card for the 5-headed dragon. If you banish one earth, water, fire and wind type monster, you can mix one card from the field into your deck. So of course you can also protect other cards, but yeah, as it works like that with this 4 or 5 different types, I thought it would be very logical to put it into this deck as well. Then I think they had a spell card which is anime exclusive, which was so called, I think, Altar of Mist, but it was, like I said, anime exclusive, so I put in there instead of it, which works similarly, the different dimension capsule, a card which was in the GX anime played out by mostly Zane Truesdale, which also works, I think, with 2 steps. You have to have this card opened up, and then you can put one card from the deck banished into the field, and if 2 turns have passed, you can put it into your hand. And then, of course, the deal with Dark Ruler, in order to put up a Berserk Dragon. That was the way it is played out. If the 5-headed dragon was destroyed, then he had to deal with Dark Ruler, and then he had put this deck master instead in there, or on there. Then Sibic's Blessing, which you also played out in order to gain life points. A card which works similar as the Altar of Mist, but is even more effective as it's not open on the field for 2 rounds, it's just played out and then placed in the graveyard as a gold sarcophagus. I thought it would be also logic to put this one into the deck. Then for draw power, of course, Pot of Duality. And as we are talking from businessmen, I also put in there Transaction, I think it is called in English. You can put 1 card from your deck your opponent can put 1 card from your deck, and you can put 1 card from his deck onto the field, which he can then place in his hands. And then the other one can do the respective thing. Yeah, so I thought like those were businessmen, so a card like this would probably be very appropriate. Then I'll put also in the brain control, as I thought they would also have, or should have, the ability to take control of the one opponent's monster in order to tribute it, for example. A card in order to slow down your enemy, Dark Door. Remove Trap, as a staple to destroy trap cards. Offerings to the Doomed, which some of them had at least considered to be in their deck, and one or another even had in their deck, like I think Gensley. Fissure, then, which was then played out, I think, even not by the Big Five, but at least from the kaiba. Mirror Dragon 2 times, as you can fusion summon, or special summon a fusion monster, I think. Yeah. Which is very important for the base strategy of this deck, on the purpose, of course, special of fusion summoning the 500 dragon. Then as a staple, Monster Reborn. Heavy Storm to clear up the field from the spell and trap cards of your opponent, and then of course also Cold Wave to at least stall those cards in order to put up your own strategy. The reserve card for draw power, and if your monsters are destroyed. Painful Choice, which I think they played out, but even if not, it would be making sense, since you can put 4 dragon type monsters, or 5 dragon type monsters into your hand, and then 4 of them are going to the graveyard, and 1 of them you can take into your hand, and of course then you have the material for the fusion summon. Just thinking about, I didn't consider regard to how I bring them back. Now, of course, I have Monster Reborn, but maybe I put in there also Premature Burial. Of course, a deal with the Dark Ruler a second time. Pot of Grief for more draw power, and a card which doesn't make that much of sense in that deck as well, not in the Elector deck, but it was shown in the hands from the, I think, I don't know, maybe it was Nesbit. As a result of that, I concluded to put in there also. Now this on to the spell cards, and next up the trap cards. I put in there, yeah, of course, I put the Rebirth card in there, since I wanted all of the cards in the graveyard, which is of course this effect, to be monster types, to make it easier to fusion summon the 5-headed dragon. Also put in their bottomless trap hole as a staple. And as of course it wasn't this arc shown by Joey Wheeler's and Joey Wheeler's deck. Then of course Driven Snow, which was played out by Crump. Magic Jammer, which was I think played out by Nesbit, maybe? Gravity Bind, which I think Kaiba played out, so maybe it's a staple. Mirror Force, which is also always a good staple. Fiendish Chain for slowing down your opponent's attacks, as well as, of course, Attack Negate. Call of the Hunted, of course, for special summoning your monsters from the graveyard. Ryoko Field, a card which I'm quite sure Nesbit used against, I think it was Tristan. DNA Operation, which works similar as Rebirth, but just for cards on the field. Imperial Aura, of course, in order to slow down the magic cards in general, spell cards, which was at the same time similarly played out by Lecter. And a card, if they had possessed this card, this deck would have been very, very strong in comparison to the weakness which eventually brought them to their downfall in this duel, was Light Negating Mirror. Since it really blocks all effects of light monsters on the field and would work very well against the effect of Mirage Knight, for example. And of course, a card which is also appropriate because of its artwork, since it has the 5-headed dragon on it, and as a fusion card, or a card which enables a fusion. I think it works with special summons of the spell trap cards are activated, and you can banish a fusion monster which you control and then negate the summon or activation of a spell or trap card. Yeah, and if you have the fusion monster, then you can activate it to negate, in order to negate a summon, a special summon, or an activation of a spell trap card. But also, you have to banish your fusion monster just for 2 rounds, so it reappears after these 2 rounds back in attack position, so it's not that bad. Imagine if you had to use this one against, for example, Mirage Knight, which is a light type monster, then Mirage Knight's summoning would have been negated, and you had get rid of this problematic, controversial tactics of fighting against a light type monster. Yeah, make a long story short, there was another Link monster from the 5-headed dragon, but I'm lacking it until now, so you might imagine that I would put in there also, as well as maybe 1 or 2 another graveyard, special something from the graveyard engines. I hope you guys liked and enjoyed it. I did, but I realized also that this deck still is not perfect, and I might work a little bit on it still. And as always, hit the like and the subscribe button. Stay tuned, support me. It would be a very great help in order to motivate me more and bring more Yugi stuff and make more correct deck profiles, and of course for the future in general for me and myself, as I have the very attempt to do it then professionally. I mean, this channel, to put it up professionally someday. And comment down below, of course, if you like it or not, or maybe what I can improve on this deck. and I wish all of you a good night, because I will, of course, now I'm going to sleep. And yeah, stay tuned for more. I will bring up the 3 remaining deck profiles, and then we will succeed to the Calculus Saga. Now, good night, guys. Your Slaver Maniac.